What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we have a playtest on this boot right here, the Under Armour Shadow Elite 3. Now this is that special edition colorway that does change the upper a little bit. I've been told that this upper is just a little bit more structured compared to the standard colorway, I guess. So we're gonna test them out, see how they fit and feel, how they perform on field, and yeah, I'm just gonna let you know more about this boot. Before we start the video, if you guys could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that, and we'll get right into it. Alright guys, so here I have the Shadow Elite 3 on feet, and yeah, these are pretty snug straight out of the box, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like I'm at the max of what this boot is. I do feel a little bit of a pinch here, not a pinch, but like, I just feel a little bit tight here in the midfoot. I do have a wider foot, so if you have a slimmer foot, this probably won't be a problem, but if you do have a wider foot, I feel like there will be some break-in time needed. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to take these off, but right now, I do have a little bit of, like, not pressure points, just it feels like tight here in the midfoot. Toe box feels nice, sizing true to size, and yeah, the upper overall just feels a little bit more structured. I have not tried the standard version or the other colorways of the Shadow Elite 3. I do want to try them out just to like know what the difference are. Overall, the shape is pretty good. I like that the toe box is pretty wide, but like I said, I think they need some break-in time. Alright guys, so I was juggling and passing the ball, and the upper feels pretty good. It doesn't feel like super thin, but it doesn't feel super thick either. It just feels like a thicker knitted material. But the touch is okay. There's no really any like grip material. It's pretty slick, and I am getting some bit of pinching here in the midfoot, only on my left. My left foot is wider than my right, so it's really uncomfortable here in the midfoot. It just feels like it's squeezing it really bad. I feel like I'm getting a cramp, but yeah, I guess we'll move on to like footwork, like ladder drills and like the sprints. So we'll see if they break in after that. Alright guys, so quick update. I did have to take off the cleats just because they were like pinching me here in the midfoot, mainly on my left, not so much on my right, but the upper still isn't as soft, and this is obviously after the ladder drill. Like, I started to feel some uncomfortable pinching here, and it just felt too tight, and I felt like I was getting a cramp. So I'm gonna let my foot like breathe, I guess, for a bit, and see put them back on and see if they feel better. Usually that does happen with cleats. Like you take them off when they start hurting, and then you put them back on, and they feel alright. Like they don't hurt as much. I'm not exactly sure why, but it does happen. But I feel like this material just doesn't let the knitted upper stretch at all. Like there is some stretch to it, but it kind of just goes back to the shape. And yeah, like you could push it, but there is resistance to it, and so that's why like it's hurting me. I guess that's good for performance, but in terms of comfort, at least for me, since I do have a wider foot, it's not as comfortable. I've heard that the standard colorway is really nice in terms of comfort here in the midfoot, just because there isn't any extra material here and it allows the upper to stretch. So I'll just keep them off for a few minutes, put them back on, and continue with the video. Hopefully I can still do some free kicks and shooting for you guys. Alright guys, so quick update. This upper is just a lot more structured and it doesn't stretch as much. So far I'm not in love with it, and also the upper isn't as soft. Like it's getting there, but it's still kind of on the stiff side or structured side. It doesn't really give like a knitted feel upper. So hopefully that changes with more break-in. I feel like I will need another session to break these in, just because they aren't really comfortable right now. The sole plate, like I said in the previous unboxing, they're pretty aggressive, but I feel okay here on this turf. Like it's not so bad. So I mean, obviously don't use this on AG. I'm only using these because it's the only field that I have access to, but you know, it's alright I guess for me and my turf. I'm not going super crazy with the movements, so yeah. But overall, like the boot hasn't really impressed me all that much. Like I said, I feel like I'll be more impressed with the standard edition. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I honestly wasn't shooting my best today, so the shooting session might be short. Just an off day. But honestly, the boots itself, I'm not that impressed by them. I guess mainly because of the break-in. Like, it did like hurt my foot. I did have to take it off a couple of times. They are slightly better. I do still feel the pinching here on the side, but it's not as bad as in the beginning. And so I took it off twice. And the second time I did take them off and put them back on, they felt a lot better. And in the shooting session, they weren't hurting that much, maybe towards the end. So the boot itself, I'm not overly impressed with. Like, this upper, it's okay. It's not as soft as I thought it would be. It doesn't really feel like a knitted upper. It feels more like a synthetic, and that's just because it is coated with that, like, obviously layer of TPU, I guess. The good thing is that it is structured, and so when you're cutting across, it does kind of hold its shape and it feels more reinforced here on the side. Obviously I haven't tried the standard version like I keep saying, but I'm guessing that feels a little bit softer in the midfoot, so maybe there's a little bit more rollover, possibly, I'm not sure. But these, like, they feel really secure in the midfoot, so I feel like there's just a little bit more break-in time needed with these. I feel like probably in the second or third session they'll be fine. Like right now, like, I just felt just a little bit pinched towards the end, not as bad as in the beginning. The heel feels pretty good, same heel as obviously previous model, and it feels locked in. The sole plate itself, again, it's the same thing. It has a decent amount of responsiveness in the forefoot. It's stiff in the midfoot, which is nice. The stud pattern is pretty aggressive. I was okay here on this AG pitch, but I honestly wouldn't recommend this for AG, so just use this on FG. This is the only field I do have access to. I don't have access to an FG field, so that's why I'm using these. Yeah, overall, like, the boot is okay. There isn't really anything special that this boot does. It doesn't really stand out from the rest of the crowd. Like, the other boots do have more of a grip material, do have like something in the midfoot. They have like a unique factor to them, and this boot honestly doesn't really scream anything unique, maybe besides the sole plate, but honestly I don't really like the sole plate. I do want to try the standard version, the regular version. Those probably feel a little bit more unique than these. But yeah, so far I'm not really impressed by this boot. Maybe the pinching did kind of ruin the boot for me. I will continue to use these, break them in. I will give you guys an update video and the full review, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you're notified for future videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.